Right, we're going to leave Rachel Reeves for just a few minutes. We're going to carry on with a bit more of the budget. There's a lot of like rinky-dink, very nitty-gritty things going on. But I just want to get your response, because Claire, just about Rachel Reeves. First thing she said, she did acknowledge when she stood up, the Office of Budget Responsibility released the information on the budget on her website, on their website. She has actually, there's wonderful photographs of her literally reading her own budget being leaked while PMQs was ongoing. She said it was deeply disappointing and a serious error on their part. She said on their part, trying to say, they're going to investigate. Can she just say, look, this is their problem, not theirs, not hers or the Treasury's, given that the Treasury had, I mean, there wasn't much of a surprise in there because the Treasury has already leaked it all already.
Yes, this is now going to be what is going to be the impact on the country, which is what the OBR will look at. And certain details the Chancellor was not going to want out of there until she had sort of managed to gold plate it at the dispatch box. That's her job, to try and give us all hope. It's a bad job.
It's all going very well. I mean, Justin Urquhart Stewart, I mean, look, we know that the market men will be very busy. They'd have been looking at this since before midday. Yeah. They've been very busy with this. I mean, laughter enduring, let's face it, throughout this, the first 20 minutes or so, from from Tory backbenchers. I have to say, a lot of Labour people looking very glum indeed. What do you make of it so far, looking at it as an economist, as a money man?
One of the things I always want to look at in any budget is to come out with the views, right, they know what they're doing. I can see a plan forward.
This isn't going well.
None of this really is fulfilling any of that. And also,
I know she sounded quite strong. I think she's had voice training. No, I'm not joking. She's sounding very forceful in a way that she hasn't before.
She was a certain Mrs. Thatcher element to it, I can see there. But one of the things you need to do with this is actually you focus on the areas. And she's mentioned it, but it's almost beside the point in terms of the high-tech centres we've got. We're very good at this. Silicon Roundabout, Silicon Glen, Fed,
we're great at any innovation. But those are, and then we get bought by America.
Exactly. Now, the bit she was saying, which, again, we have one line on it, which was developing the capital for growth. Yeah, but how's that going to work? What we really want to have is there are things that they can do which does not cost the government anything. You referred to, expanding the enterprise investment scheme and things like that.
But again, like leaving businesses to just get on with it.
Yeah, and we do that by way of guarantees, let the market then take that away, and you give people, particularly the business people, the confidence to get started.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, with business confidence, a big issue. Now, growth, I think she said something like 30 plus times last year in her budget last year. We did have a little bit of mention of growth, and she did talk about how there would be no return to austerity, and I meant it. She said she was going to cut debt and borrowing. It's fascinating. She said repeatedly, these are my choices. And then she said fair taxes, strong economy, and strong economy, and stable economy. Talking about stability for public finances. But again and again, these are my choices. Politically, what's that about, Claire?
I think she is trying to manoeuvre herself into a position, if this all goes well, she can stand there and say, this is all on me, the Prime Minister's not going to get rid of her. I think it's a really bad option for her, though, to say that. I wonder how much
he's quite happy for her to take the hit,
Number 10 has had into this to make sure
we didn't want
there's
to do
a distance
except he is First Lord of the Treasury. That is the Prime Minister's official title. But it is interesting what the ABR has broken. I mean, look, there will be a serious investigation into this. But, we're talking at £26 billion in tax rises. She's talking about this £22 billion worth of fiscal headroom she'll now have. Again, these are sort of, it was only 9 or 10 billion before. So if things go tits up, let's be honest, then she's got a little bit more space, won't have to raise taxes. But she said that last year and said she wouldn't come back for more. But it is interesting. Debt rising as a share of GDP, gross going up by 0.5% more than they predicted in March. But I mean, still 1.5%, it's nothing. Productivity is downscaled from 1.3% to 1%. Again, rubbish, given the amount of, given AI, given all the technology we have now, growth is absurd. I mean, there's really, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going through it all. Where is the good news in this budget?
That's what you need to be able to put in speeches like this, to actually encourage you, say, well, that's good, there's something I can hang on to here. One of the worst figures are interest rate payments. I'm talking about 106 billion. If you go back now 6 years ago, that was 50 billion, same as the defence budget. Now, there's only one encouraging element to that. Actually, about a third of our debt, a bit slightly less than that, is actually owned by ourselves. because of quantitative easing.
Yeah.
So rather
We've
perversely,
printed a load of money.
And so if you unwind that, so yes, it's a lot of debt, but we're on both sides of the balance sheet. So that's not quite as bad. Nonetheless, the cost of that over the next few years is going to continue to rise. Plus the fact, of course, some bright little fellow called G. Brown Esquire decided to actually link part of it to inflation.
Yeah.
So as inflation went up, so we ended up paying more for it.
But there's
It makes you want to cry.
an increase borrowing every single year, the OBR are reporting. So the government that was telling us that we weren't going to borrow.
So taxes are going to going up, welfare spending's going up. Some of that is pensions, which, you know, people get older and they're living, longer, and that's a good thing. 9 billion. We're going to spend more on defence, not enough, not soon enough. Exactly. National health, I mean, that's just a bottomless pit of spending, again, with no extra. I mean, they says she's cutting waiting lists. Well, not very little evidence of that so far. They're going to cut waiting lists when enough people die. I mean, that's the reality. Who are we kidding? But meanwhile, borrowing going up as well. I mean, this is unsustainable, isn't it?
It is unsustainable, because what you've got to be able to have is that growth behind it. And we're talking about growth figures here. We're saying we're the best of the G7. This is a snail race.
Yeah. Can I say, she just said net financial debt this year is going to be £2.6 trillion.
Just obscene, isn't it?
You can't
imagine it.
You can't get it on a calculator.
I mean, you literally, you can just keep pressing the numbers and it will just go. No, let's go back to the House of Commons. But I would say if we're going to be, me and Collins is going to be coming on very soon, and we're not going to be having a news break. We'll get more of you lucky things, Rachel Reeves, even though we've already got the budget already. Big thanks if we don't get a chance to come back again, Justin Urquhart Stewart, and also to Claire Pearsall.